Today on Ag Etc., we're reporting from the 2018 Kansas Cattle Drive in Buhler. Get a recap from Reno County Extension agent Darren Busick, then some cattle handling tips from Colorado State's Temple Grandin. Next, John Sachse with the Kansas Beef Council talks about the importance of getting BQA trained. Then hear about how proper genetics can help you overcome even the harshest of environments. And we'll end with a wrap-up from the 2018 Equifest with Justine Staten from the Kansas Horse Council. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
We're back here in Buhler, Kansas, and I'm Darren Busick, the county agent here in Reno County with K-State Extension, and we have another beautiful day, 3 years in a row of wonderful weather, and every year it's continued to grow, which is exciting. And we're here with Collier. He's been here this morning enjoying a lot of things. What kind of things have you been doing?
Folding clothes, lots of things.
Yeah, lots of things. Do you play any toys or anything at the FA Fun Zone? Did you do some of that stuff? Yeah. We have stuff for kids to do at like the FFA Fun Zone, and they get to be a vet for a day. They get to do things like that. They also get to play with Happy Toy Maker toys and just get to do a lot of fun things like that. We try to make it a family fun atmosphere, and we have the smell of burgers in there and kind of a fair atmosphere. Yeah, this year we just have a really good lineup. We have Dr. Grandin. She spoke this morning at 10, and then she'll speak at 3:30 also, and she's really opened up the doors for a lot of things. We have a Foster Care Appreciation Day and CEUs being given out for her coming and listening to her talk about autism. So social workers, education, things like that can get CEUs. So yeah, it's been really good to have her come, and really brings a lot of the crowd in too. And we have Dr. Rusk, the head of the animal science at Oklahoma State. He's going to come talk, and we've had BQA. We have 150 people signed up for the BQA class, which has been really good. And then we had Branding Your Ranch with three well-known social media people and bloggers and vloggers and YouTube people, all that. It's Farmer Derek and Debbie Lyons Blythe and Jenny Burgess. So it's been a really good lineup this year. With this area, we can kind of cover a lot of different aspects. We have, with the wildfires around, we have guys here talking about the prescribed burn associations, and we have with the cattle industry in this area. It's not just South Central Kansas. We really cover the whole state. So we have foothill ranches. We have ranches out west, up by Ellis and Gorham and areas like that. So we really can kind of cover it all, and they can come here and to be educated on different ways of handling and different ways of, with different things with the beef industry. One of the best things about the cattle drive is seeing these kids here, and especially ones that haven't been on a farm, and it brings them right up next to the livestock that's on Main Street. And so we kind of bring the farm to them, which is really fun. And it's really neat to see the kids just watching the cows and just experiencing farm right here in the middle of the town. And the city of Buhler's just been awesome to work with. The city and the school district both work really good with us. And we do have a speaker lined up, Amberly Snyder. She's a paralyzed barrel racer, and she will be here next year, and we're going to continue to grow it and improve things and be back next year.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
I'm Temple Grandin. I am Professor of Animal Science at Colorado State University. And first thing you need to do in working with livestock is you have to calm down. And when you calm down, there's a whole lot more things that you can learn. It takes animals 30 minutes to calm down if they've gotten excited. People need to be a good observer. What are your cattle looking at? Which way are their ears going? Maybe you need to get rid of all the vehicles that are parked along the fences that are scaring the animal. Get rid of the chains hanging down, the coats on the fences. Also, there's research now that shows if you take the young heifers and work them through the corrals, it's going to make them easier to work in the future. But it's important to give them a reward in the corral of something really tasty. So it's worth their while to get caught in a squeeze chute. Well, one layout mistake that you don't want to make is you got to make sure that when your animal stands at the entrance to your single file chute, you can see at least two body lengths down it. If you bend it wrong at the junction between the crowd pen, regardless of the design you have, it's laid out wrong at that junction, it will really mess up your facility. They have got to see a place to go. And there's lots of stuff that's laid out wrong. Little tubs that sort of just go like that don't work very well. If you're going to use a tub, it should really go around in a half circle and take advantage of the natural tendency of going back to where they come from. A lot of bud boxes are laid out wrong. And you need to be using any kind of a crowd pen as a passing through pen. Don't store cattle in there because they're all going to turn around and want to go back to where they're coming from. You want to have them pass through the crowd pen and fill up the single file. So wait until you have space in the single file so you can bring the cattle up there and just bring them on around and they go on in. And use that following behavior. Big mistake that people make when they're working cattle is to put too many cattle in the crowd pen. And this mistake happens regardless of crowd pen design. Fill it half full. I mean, the best thing is whatever you put in the crowd pen fits in the single file. But you want to have a single file that's long enough so you can get some following behavior. Maybe holding a minimum of 4 cows. You don't want something too long. But if you store cattle in a crowd pen, they turn around on you because they always want to go back to where they come from. Good handling is going to require more walking to bring up small bunches. In some facilities, that's going to be 3 adult cows, a very small amount. Maybe another facility, you can bring up 6 adult cows. You need to figure out what works well and stick with it. Putting too many animals in a crowd pen is the #1 mistake that people make because they don't want to do the walking to bring up those smaller groups. It's important that an animal's first experience with something new like the corrals be a good first experience. Take the young heifers, just walk them through, and then give them some feed rewards in the corrals. I was just talking to a rancher that says, oh, well, they went back to their bunks and ate. But that's their bunks. That's not the corrals. We want them to associate the corrals with something good, and so you bring them out and give them a little bit of treat right there in the corral. I'm at the Department of Animal Science at Colorado State University, and there's contact information on the Animal Science website. And I also have lots of information on Grandin.com, just my last name. And I've got a new book called Temple Grandin's Guide to Working with Farm Animals. And it's got lots of designs that are really good for rented land, made with portable facilities, much simpler designs. Because another thing that's happened is a lot of cattle today, especially breeds such as Angus cattle, we've been doing a lot of temperament selection. So some of the cattle we have today, they're not as wild as the cattle we had 20 years ago. And they're going to work a lot better in simpler facilities than some of the cattle that I had when we first started.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Welcome to the Jerry Thomas Gallery and Collection, where we feature my renowned artwork, frontier military, and Native American artifacts. In the painting behind me is Scouting the Trail. Two scouts overlook the Smoky Hill River Valley just north of the famous Monument Rocks, which are internationally renowned, as a column of 7th Cavalry parade north of the river. On this point, two scouts rode in a circle, and there were 18 cartridges found up there, and that meant that they usually were warning of impending danger and firing off their weapons. One of those weapons I feature in the gallery, a Spencer weapon, which we featured in the painting. Very unique and very honored to showcase this to you.
Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Well, hey, thank you for having us. My name is John Sachse. I'm the Director of Industry Relations for the Kansas Beef Council. Very excited to be here today. We're conducting a beef quality assurance training here in Buhler, Kansas, in conjunction with the Kansas Cattle Drive. It's really a wide array of producers today that are certified or BQA trained. We have folks probably in the feed yard segment, cow-calf, backgrounding, really a wide array of individuals that are taking part of this. We're working in conjunction with Dr. AJ Tarpoff at Kansas State. He's their beef extension veterinarian, so he's actually conducting our training. You know, BQA is extremely important for the industry. With the Beef Council, we are very consumer focused in a lot of what we do. We're continuing to advocate, helping the beef industry advocate for the beef product with consumer. And the consumer continues to tell us that they want to know where their beef comes from. They want to know how it's raised. And so these BQA trainings are extremely important, especially as ranchers go out and visit with consumers in a grocery store or wherever it may be. And they can share that production message and that they're going the extra step, the extra mile to ensure that cattle are raised in the best way possible. BQA covers a wide range of topics: how to care for downed animals, humane euthanasia, how do you have low-stress animal handling on your facilities or on your ranches, how do you improve your cattle working facilities. So really goes over a wide array of topics. So we've found that these in-person trainings are, ranchers from several counties around will get together and we'll plan this event around a dinner, and it's a good kind of networking event for these ranchers to get to know one another, reconnect. A lot of them know each other, so we center it around a dinner, and then the trainings usually last about an hour or 2 hours. So pretty simple process. I will note though that we have also kind of shifted to some online trainings, specifically one that's geared towards high school FFA students across the state. And we're able to train a lot more chapters online. We pick a day and a time and have FFA students go through that training. And then we've actually just created an online training for truckers. It's a transportation BQA. So we're able to capture a lot of those folks kind of on the same day, same time thing. BQA is a checkoff funded program, so Basically what that means is farmers and ranchers help fund this BQA training. The Kansas Beef Council is the entity that kind of organizes the beef checkoff. So a lot of those resource dollars are going to these BQA trainings and also to directly communicate with those consumers. I will note that producers, truckers or just veterinarians or really anybody, farmer or rancher, they can go to bqa.org and go through the online modules that are available. But those FFA and the transportation trainings, I directly reach out to those folks across the state. So you can visit us more on kansasbeef.org if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what the Kansas Beef Council does, what we do, if you want some recipes. So visit us at kansasbeef.org, and I would also direct you to beefit'swhatsfordinner.com. That's the national checkoff.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store, covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Raising cattle in New Mexico isn't for the faint of heart. From dramatic elevation changes to low stocking rates, there are many obstacles.
Well, living in the Southwest, we're always challenged by the fact that 2/3 of the time we're going to be in a drought. So we're always planning and preparing for dry conditions. Obviously, every drop of rain we're grateful for, and it really, in our environment, we can grow really good forage with a little amount of rain. Our country's very resilient. We're coming out of the longest and most severe drought, and so it's very much a part of what we prepare for, what we live with. We definitely feel blessed. Because there are other parts of the country that just have their own challenges.
Even when there is enough water, it's often too high in iron and sulfur.
In our part of the world, you would think in the arid Mountain West that water quantity would be a major challenge, but from a performance standpoint, it's actually water quality that a lot of ranchers face. And water quality is one of those challenges because they present a lot of antagonists that decrease the absorption of trace minerals that are very important for reproduction and also the health of our calves.
Time and study have taught rancher Manny Encinius how to have both high-performing genetics and ones that work in tough conditions.
We have really done a great job of getting good, powerful genetics, something that we can produce a good, desirable product for our consumer in. I do believe, though, that, again, we've had to make some changes to our management to be able to match, what the cattle need based on what we have available. So we've had to change things up some.
But Encinius says filling in nutritional gaps doesn't need to be costly. It's just paying attention to details. Anyone who says high-gaining and grading cattle can't live in the Southwest hasn't tried this approach.
My mind has changed probably over the last 10 years on that whole aspect of it because we do know that if those cattle are managed correctly, and I really place a lot of emphasis on the micronutrition of those types of higher curve bending type of genetics, they'll work in our environment. I still think that we definitely need cattle that get out and travel. They have to when we have stocking rates of 100 acres per cow. they definitely have to get out there and travel. But I think if we can manage their micronutrition, starting with the trace minerals, getting more trace minerals into the blood, really trying to make the digestive system work as efficient as possible, those cattle will work phenomenal. And in the end, we'll be able to meet the higher demands for beef across the world.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Darryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and take trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide, presented by Lucas Oil, featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV, the all-new Better Horses Network.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center today with Miss Justine Staten. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're here at Equifest of Kansas.
Yes.
This is a big deal for the state of Kansas, a big deal for the region, big deal for horses. I just wanted you to just give us an idea of just some of the things that goes on here at Equifest.
Wow, well we pack our schedule back to back and we try to squeeze in as much as we can. We've even added a third workshop room this year just to add for that overflow opportunity. We have clinicians, world-renowned clinicians in the arenas in both Domer and Landon all day, every day, as well as 10 breeds being showcased and demonstrations of special events on top of that. We've got the Cowboy Mounted Shooters, we've got the Fort Riley Cavalry guys, we've got Top Horse Versatility Contest, and at nights we've got the Ranch Rodeo Friday and Saturday, and to top it off we've got the grand finale, which is the Jumper Classic on Sunday. In addition to that, we've got wall-to-wall shopping, vendors of all sorts and kinds, outbuildings, inside decor, home, you name it. We've got tack, clothing, anything you can imagine.
Yeah, you know, and I just walk around here and it's like, well, I'm not even going to be able to get this all done in one day. It's like there's just so much to do. You know, you could spend a whole weekend and just not even see or be around the same area one time.
Right there, yeah. You'll probably never see the same thing twice, and and there is so much to see. So we encourage you to come for all 3 days when you're here. So new this year, we have added Heritage Hall to our venue, and it is a cowboy poetry and art gallery, art sale. Oh. And it's a really classy, cool, separate piece, but everybody has been really receptive and loving that. So you come up toward the Ponderosa room, you can step outside to the Heritage Hall, jump back inside, and there's just so much to see.
Yeah, you know, and I think that knowing like who makes up the Equifest or who helps run this is just amazing. Volunteer, like I guess, could you say a little bit about that and like who helps put this together?
Just vital. So we have a committee that works really hard year round to try to put the framework together. But when it comes to opening day, you've got to have those volunteers in place, and we've got a tremendous group of volunteers that are willing to jump up and do whatever is needed. And if there's a hole to fill, they fill that hole, and they're very good at giving directions and pointing people out there and say, don't miss this, don't miss that. It's just great. We couldn't do it without the volunteers, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, being kind of a leader or director of the Kansas Horse Council, it's good to just surround yourself by, you know, good people. It makes the whole event go really smooth. You know, just walking around here, you can just tell everybody just moving smooth and rolling right along.
We have a great team. It's kind of like a family.
Yep, that is right. Well, Justine, I just want to thank you for everything you do with the Kansas Horse Council and Equifest.
I appreciate it, Dr. Blevins.
Yeah. Well, that's Horsing Around, and we'll see you around.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.